to something, you don't realize how blessed you are. You know what I'm saying? And so the Kings are going to share testimony with us tonight. I appreciate y'all doing it. Come right ahead.
The Kings being me. Tried to tell my kids they were all coming. The girls, absolutely not. So I was going to get my mom to come. Not really. For those of you who don't know us, my name is Brock King. This is my wife, Cindy. And we're at home. Right here in this room. This is as much home to me as our house in Timberlake. I grew up here. She grew up here. Everything we've learned spiritually has occurred on this property or in some type of activity related to this ministry. And we are incredibly blessed. We sing all the time that count your blessings, name them one by one. And I've been thinking for a week since Brother Tyler asked me if we would do this about all the ways we've been blessed. And it's impossible. It is literally impossible to just make a list. And I think back, many of you obviously know my mom and my sister, and knew my dad passed away back in November. And I can trace me being here through him back to 1964 when a bus captain stopped. He was out playing in the yard, according to what Daddy told me. Out playing in the yard, and the bus captain stopped and invited him and his mama to church. And that was Andrew Shook. I barely remember him. I can kind of picture him a little bit in my mind. How many of you knew Andrew Shook? Man, just a handful of hands. There's no telling the fruit that will be seen in heaven from his ministry and whoever led him to the Lord and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of that ripple effect, that throwing a rock in the pond and the ripples just keep on trucking. And anyway, we grew up here. I think of all the people throughout the years that have had an impact in my life and her life here. My daddy-in-law standing in the corner back there, he was my Sunday school teacher in 3rd or 4th grade. Who would have known? We got into the youth department summer of '83. Same summer that the preacher came back from college and became our youth director. And so we were it's kind of cool to look back and having made that journey through youth department with him. And so he was our youth director for 5 years. Tremendous blessing. And then we got to be, and there are other people here in the room that were our teachers. I see Miss Roycroft back there, her and her husband, both taught us in the youth department. Brother Wendell, Brother John were both my Sunday school teachers. We've been blessed. And then it goes beyond that. Our kids were able to come to the academy here for all of their years. And then, of course, Chris graduated from college a couple years ago. He and Angela got married 8.5 weeks ago right here, 29 years after we got married right here. That's just cool. That's blessings that you don't think about. You don't dwell on that kind of stuff, but when you really start to ponder how the Lord has blessed you, I am blessed way more than I could ever possibly hope for or deserve. Kids grew up here. Chris and Angela got married a few weeks ago. Melissa and Kevin are getting married this Saturday. I'm selling bone marrow now to pay for this stuff. So ran out of blood plasma. But she's getting married Saturday, and Kevin's here tonight. His parents here. They just got here yesterday for the wedding, and it just keeps on going. Blessed, crazy blessed. Caitlin and Corden's over here. I suspect we'll do this again next summer. So it's incredible to see what the Lord's done in our life here at this place, allowing us to be a part of the ministry. We've been able to teach junior church, work with the teenagers, teach teenage boys and girls for years. And I was so tickled whenever we got to start Sunday school back. We've been teaching since the summer of 1994, and man, we just do that for that many years and then skip a year of it. I'm glad to be back teaching the boys. The bus route. We started the bus routes back up a few weeks back, and I filled out the thing down there. I said, I want to drive a bus. I want to keep on driving. My daddy got to drive for 40 years, and the last Sunday, he'd been out for a few weeks, several weeks, some months, with some eye issues. He had to have some operations on both of his eyes. He got to come back for one Sunday right before COVID hit, and he took a picture, put it on his Facebook page. Thankful, he took it from his driver's seat in the bus, looking out the front window. Thankful to be back in that spot. Little did he know that COVID would hit the next week. He'd never drive a bus again. And I remember bus number 12. Some of you guys have been around a long time. Remember that old Ford we used to have. And my daddy drove that bus, drove the wheels off that joker. And I remember sitting behind him, and it was my job as a little kid. That's when you could use the little flag on the side of the bus. I got to pull the handle whenever we stopped. That was my job, and I was blessed. So we're just excited to be here, excited to be a part of this ministry, excited for what the Lord's doing in our kids' lives going forward from here, and excited what the Lord's doing in our church, and just growing, and it's awesome. Count your blessings individually. Think about what all the Lord's done for you. It'll amaze you. Has me. So that's it. Thanks for your time.